Hello and welcome. Welcome to tSQLt Live DevOps Edition. If you are looking to learn more about DevOps, Data Platform DevOps, or DevSecOps, you have come to the right place. In this video series, I am talking about how to get started with DevOps, about what DevOps is, why it is important, and also some more advanced topics. So no matter where you're at in your DevOps journey, there's something for you in there. And today I would like to look at what you need to pay attention to when you're picking out an automation server. In the last episode, we talked about what an automation server is and the two types of automation servers. Today, we are going to look at, well, what are the important pieces that an automation server needs to have. And I asked ChatGPT about that, and it came back with this list here. This list. I massaged it a little, so it's not quite what came back there, but I really like the points that it came up with, and well, let's go through them. The first one is compatibility and integration. And what that really means is it needs to work with the tools you are already using. You need to be able to integrate it in your workflow. You need to be able to integrate your tools within it. Like if you're using a compiler, a specific one, it is nice if that automation server can use that compiler or that build tool out of the box. You can always run a script and figure out how to script things, but if it comes out of the box, it's easier to set up, easier to maintain. So if you have that compatibility, if you have that integratability with the tools you are using, you are going to be happier. That's point number one. Then scalability. Depending on the size of your build, that might become important, or the size of your unit testing suite. You want to be able to run those builds. You want to be able to run those test suites quickly and not have to wait for hours for them to complete, if possible. Also, you might want to be able to run multiple builds at the same time. If you have a big development team that constantly commits new changes and merges new changes, you want to be able to run your CI pipeline on those changes to give those developers that immediate feedback that is important for DevOps to work. So whatever automation server you pick, it needs to be able to be fast no matter what you throw at it. And most automation servers are quite good at that because you can, most of them are working based on agents, and you can set up your own agents. You can provide your own agents, and you can provide many of those agents, and you can make those agents as big as you need. So most automation servers fulfill this need, but when you pick one, make sure that is the case with yours too. Flexibility and customizability. Already said, you can always run a script in your automation server, but the more flexible, the more customizable the servers are, the better off you're gonna be. Ease of use, it still goes along the same lines. Automation servers can be quite complex. The easier they are to use, the better. Most of them use YAML as a scripting language in which you describe your pipelines. Some of them have a point-and-click interface where you can build your pipelines without writing YAML. I would recommend you always write YAML because it gives you more flexibility. But if your pipelines are not that complex, you probably can get away with just using the GUI. Security, it's kind of doesn't even need to be mentioned, but yes, you need to be able to lock down to control access, particularly if it is a system that's running in the cloud. You don't want things to be public that you don't want to be public. So security has to be there. Support and community, you are going to have questions. You are going to run into problems, and the better the support system is, the bigger the community is, the better off you're gonna be. Then naturally there's cost. Well, quite clear. If you get two that perform the same, or if you're looking at two automation servers that perform the same for your specific problems, go with the one that is cheaper. But there is a reason that this is all the way at the end. Well, almost all the way at the end. This is not the most important factor. The other ones are more important than cost. However, the last point here, reliability and performance. Performance we kind of talked already about under scalability, but reliability, well, if your automation server is not reliable, then you're losing the quick feedback that you're promising your developers, the short feedback loops. So your automation server certainly needs to be reliable, but then most of the offers that are out there nowadays are very reliable. So that's a list of things that I would look for when deciding which automation server to go with. For example, I really like Azure DevOps. However, the newer GitHub Actions are a little bit easier to use, a little bit more integrated. So I prefer them over GitHub Action, over Azure DevOps. However, there are things that GitHub Actions don't provide that Azure DevOps provides. For example, if you run your tests in Azure DevOps, you get a nice result display for all your tests. It shows which test passed, which test failed, and so on. In GitHub Actions, that is not provided out of the box. You can write your own display. There are projects that you can find on GitHub that do that extra step, but it does not come out of the box. So there is an extra step that you have to do. So when you're thinking about compatibility and integration and flexibility and customizability, look at the things that are important to you and make sure the tool you're picking has it, or you are aware of that gap and you know how you're going to get around it. That is all I had for you today. Thank you for showing up. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. If you want to see more content like this, please subscribe. Have a fabulous day. Bye.